Hello everyone, meteorologist Hutch Johnson with an update on what is going on across the Central Plains and the Central Rocky Mountains today. Winter storm is taking aim on the mountains of Colorado, and at the same time, severe weather is beginning to impact parts of Missouri, where we are expecting some severe weather potential tonight. We're going to get started with a quick look at the latest on the risks, and to do that, we'll take a look at what we have going on with regards to the Storm Prediction Center outlook for tonight. So here it is. The areas of very light green that you see from Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Springfield, Missouri, those areas are indicative of a region where we have just a garden variety thunderstorm with one or two possibly reaching close to severe levels. It's called a marginal level, and it's level 1 out of a 5-level scale. The yellow here that spreads all the way through northern parts of Missouri and some towns included in that haze, Kansas, Kirksville, Missouri, out to Quincy, Illinois, and also Columbia in Missouri. Now that is a slight risk. That means more widespread severe thunderstorms will be possible. A couple tornadoes can't be ruled out, and there has been an increase in the potential for severe weather on that I-70 corridor from Manhattan, Kansas, right through Kansas City, where we have an enhanced risk of severe weather. A couple of tornadoes will be possible in this area. In fact, there's going to be a warm front lifting through, so in the early onset of the event, well, we could see some strong tornadoes. This becomes more of a wind event overnight, and huge hail. Very large hail with these storm systems working their way through up towards St. Joseph, Missouri. So a pretty large impacted area. Now, we do have some severe thunderstorm potential out in the St. Louis area on the edge of this. Look south of the St. Louis area out in Festus. We have a stout thunderstorm is rumbling its way through. These storms capable of hail and gusty straight line winds in the early onset. We're going to look at the modeled forecast, but let's take a look at this radar just a little bit more closely. And to do that, I want to pop up the individual single site radar data here so we can show you the storms that are active. Right now, near St. Louis is where we have the strongest thunderstorms. There is one radar there that is out of service, unfortunately, with some maintenance going on there. But here's that Festus storm, and you can certainly see that we do have some pink in it. That's a hail core that's working its way right over the interstate corridor there of I-55. Now, this storm system, as we loop it, will show you that its general movement is off to the east-northeast. It does have what we call a little bit of a V-notch here, which would indicate some rotation on the large scale with this particular thunderstorm. So that storm is strong, but it's not really in the focused area. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in this area, and I will put up the National Weather Service active watches and warnings right now so you can follow along. Now, this is not going to turn into active coverage of these storms, but the Festus storm is warned for severe. As we take a look at that, it's expecting to be 1-inch hail and up to 60-mile-per-hour gusty winds. That severe thunderstorm watch is in effect in and around the St. Louis area of Missouri for this evening. All right, now let's get over to what's going on here in the Kansas City area. Is there anything firing at all? We'll start out looking at the Kansas City radar, and it does look like we have just a few clouds up there on the north side of the radar's beam out there near Beatrice in Nebraska in the southeastern quadrant of the state. Things have not fired here yet. What does the model say? Let me show you that. Cheryl, good to have you on from Golden City, Missouri. Oh, you have family there. So yeah, there is a lot of active weather across Missouri expected for tonight, particularly the northern part. Get down here and not far from places like Branson and Springfield and Joplin. They could have some strong thunderstorms, but their risk might increase as we go into the day tomorrow or late tonight. Let me show you a look at the modeled forecast for this. To do that, I'm going to pull up a convective allowing model here. We'll take a look at the latest run of that, and we'll have the time show up in the time bar for you here. Now, we will go ahead and look at the forecast trend of the model. Now, here's where things fire up. Let me go ahead and load this up for you. Here we go. You're looking at the time, the image. Oh, it looks like it's still loading in here. Hold on, let me load it up. Okay, so I've got a couple of, this model run is just coming in. So we'll go to the most recent one that I have available. Setting things into motion. The radar wasn't showing much now at all. As we go into the 6 to 7 o'clock time frame, though, boom, look at things blossom. So there is going to be a blossoming of thunderstorm potential tonight across the warm front. Now, this is Kansas City's right in the mix. So you can see the enhanced area here. That is where the Storm Prediction Center has pegged as having the greatest risk for seeing the potential for tornadoes and very large hail. That warm front does extend all the way into the St. Louis area, and there'll be more storms there into the late evening. So we're talking about after the 6 o'clock hour. We're looking at around 5 o'clock Central Time right now. So within the next couple of hours, we may see the initiation of a few of these storms from Manhattan, Kansas through Kansas City. At initiation is when we'll have the best chance at seeing a few of these that could possibly become spinny, if you will. The rotation in the atmosphere will be a little bit more robust and strong with these early cells that get going. These will drift north and east, northeastward towards Kirksville, towards Mexico, towards the Marshall area, Macon, Missouri, Chillicothe, also in the path of these storms as they drift northeast. Then as we head into the 10 o'clock hour, watch what happens here. As I'll zoom up, but you're going to start seeing what looks like Falls City, Missouri, and you get this little backward C shape to these puppies. Let me show you what that means and what I'm talking about here. Look by Maryville, St. Joe. See this backward C shape that I drew with the red pen here? That is a look at what we call a more linear and wind event. So from this storm system here, we could have some straight line winds gusting out of those storms. And then again, from Kirksville through Macon and Moberly down to the south on 63, we'll have a chance of some very gusty straight line winds with these storms. And it should transition to more of a wind event during the overnight hours. And those wind events can sometimes produce short-lived funnel clouds and tornadoes as well. So you'll still want to heed the warning. So that's a look at the onset of these storms. How long do they last? As we continue to play this out, they quickly move through and they kind of continue to percolate right along the Missouri border with Iowa there. So from Ottumwa, Iowa, through Kirksville, Missouri, windy and strong thunderstorms into the overnight hours will be a possibility. Now, don't fret if you're looking for information on the Colorado snowstorm. We're going to get to that here right away. But again, overnight showers and thunderstorms in the area of risk. These storms will spread out towards Valparaiso and heading into the Chicago area. The risk of severe there is quite low. Just some very wet rain, as I like to call it. Now, the mountains of Colorado, what's going on there? Let's take a look at that Colorado snow. You see all of the counties that are under watches and warnings with this system. It's just getting started right now. And as a matter of fact, to show you what's going on out in the western part of Colorado, I have a look at the DOT site out there in Colorado. We'll zoom in and take a look at a couple of cameras. The snow event is really beginning in the elevated terrain right now, but it really doesn't get going with the upslope snow machine until tonight. So here we're looking at I-70 near the Eisenhower Tunnel, and you can certainly see that it's hard to see. And that's because, well, there's some snow. Check it out. There is the tunnel itself. And you can see on the side of the mountain there, the copious amounts of flaky material that has, well, fallen from the skies. So that's what's going on in the mountains of Colorado right now as we look in on the plains out near the Denver area. It is raining there. And as you look into places in the western suburbs, Lakewood, Golden, on all those areas, well, of course, traffic is heavy. You're looking at mountain time now of about 3:56 or pushing the 4 o'clock hour. Sheridan Boulevard, and you can see there is, well, it looks like there might be some wet roads there, but that's about it. As our friends in Colorado brace for what's going to be a multi-day winter weather maker. Let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast with that as we have the radar showing the showers of snow right now. Now let's look at the forecast. Here we go. This is from the same model that we were looking at, so it'll only carry us out for the next 24 to 36 hours or so. Looking at Denver, all of the red areas are winter storm warnings. It includes the entire metro area, Denver, all the way out east into Aurora and out by the airport. Lock Buoy included, Brighton, Thornton, Castle Rock, and look at this. Colorado Springs has now been added into this system. So that means the upslope machine, the low pressure system, taking just a little bit farther southerly track than the models were saying yesterday, because with just a slight change in the track of the low, that upslope machine, well, it would miss Colorado Springs entirely. Still, Pueblo not in the mix. Now, let's put this into motion. You're going to see the heavy snow in the dark blue start to set up as we go to the late evening tonight. You'll want to be where you're going to be in Colorado by the time we get to midnight, because after that, we're going to have bands of very heavy snow. Boulder and the I-36 corridor into Denver will be hitting with some very large size flakes. The gray colors here would indicate flakes the size of Hutch Johnson's big toe. That's pretty good size, especially if I have a hammer. Now, as you take a look, the snow just sits here all the way through the overnight and into the morning hours, and it doesn't move. That's one of the things that is associated with upslope snow. You get wind blowing up the Rocky Mountains, and as long as that wind is strong out of the east and it has a lot of moisture in it, the flakes will continue to fly with this particular system. And it's not just going to fly all the way through the days tomorrow, but we're expecting this to last all the way into Saturday morning for some. So to look at that, we'll take a look at a little bit more of a regional model here that goes out just a little bit farther in time, and we'll show you how long the snow machine lasts. Boom, tonight. Tomorrow morning, very early, Denver, the metro area, and the whole Front Range from Cheyenne, Wyoming, all the way through the pass out there on the I-80 corridor through the mountains into the Rock Springs area. We're going to see heavy snow and very gusty winds in the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour in some of these areas. Look at this. You're looking at the 14th, folks, and this system here is Thursday, and it's still snowing heavily in Denver and Colorado Springs. This is really going to impact the snowfall amounts. I'll bet they're up a little higher than what we were talking about yesterday. I think the peak was 9 inches to maybe 16 inches in the city itself. We can take a look now at what, with the model showing this, what the model is showing for snowfall reports as far as estimated snowfall. It's estimated. I don't like to rely on the models for everything. Let's take a look at snowfall potential. Going to be very, very wet, heavy snow. March is Colorado's snowiest month, and here you go. Look at the metro area. Colorado Springs, Woodland Park, just west in the Rocky Mountains. The National Weather Service says we're expecting snowfall up there to be upwards of 3 to 15 inches and gusts of wind to 50 miles per hour or so. Now, what is this model showing for snowfall amounts? Let me show you this ridiculousness. So as you get into Colorado Springs, just east of town, out by Peterson Air Force Base here, 13 inches of snow. You get into Colorado Springs and it ramps up quickly as those Rocky Mountains are nestled right there. Hey, thanks for the kind word there, Gene. I really do appreciate it. You get into the mountains just west of the Colorado Springs area, and we're talking about the Woodland Park area. And this model says 70 inches of snow. Now, it's laughable in some of these cases, but in the mountains, it's not uncommon to see 30 to 45 inches of snow. So take this with a grain of salt. Let's look at the National Weather Service forecast again for this area here. As we look at the upslope snow, we're talking about between 10 and 18 inches, or the better part of 1 to 2 feet of snow, and gusts of wind to 40 miles per hour. Now, the metro area, Denver, all the way out towards the airport, well, we could have some delayed flights across the nation as a result of this. Look at the ramping up of snow. In the eastern suburbs of the metro area, out near the airport, they're still talking upwards of at 6 to 8 inches of snow, but it really ramps up here at the Aurora-Denver line there if you're traveling Colfax west through the city, and we could see 18 to 24 inches of snow. You get up in Golden where there's a little brewery there. Yeah, that's right in the foothills, and that area could see some very heavy wet snow, and there could be a few spots that get significant snowfall that would be in excess of, well, maybe 3 feet according to this model. Let's see what the National Weather Service says, though. I trust their judgment on these things, and this says up to 24 inches of snow in the western suburbs, and then you get up in the mountains, it'll likely be even more than that. So they're still talking 2 feet of snow in the western suburbs of the Denver metro area. So keep that in mind. Now, Cheyenne, my friends out there, well, I tell you what, if you're in the cowboy state, you might want to get ready to put the snow boots aside and get out the old snow boots, because it's going to be 1 to 2 feet of snow as well for you. And the wind tends to really rock through that I-80 saddle there going in toward the Laramie area. Keep that in mind. So a lot of very heavy snow will work its way through. That's a look at the winter storm that is associated with this same system, and it continues to produce snow all the way until we get into the early part of the weekend, Friday and into Saturday. So keep that in mind. Could have impacts travel nationwide, and this snow system will indeed produce snow in Flagstaff. We're talking a few inches there. We're talking a few inches of potential in northern parts of New Mexico as well, north of Santa Fe primarily, up towards Trinidad rather. Ooh, in southeast Colorado. Now that's a mouthful. We'll take one last look at the radar here before I let you go to show you if, and we'll take a peek and see if any of these storms have fired up there in and around the Kansas City area here. So as we get in on the Kansas City radar, I'm not seeing anything that's really firing just as of yet with this storm system. We'll be watching for the development of storms. Remember, the model showed near 6 o'clock things firing up from Manhattan to Kansas City. We'll have the latest right here on Hutch's Weather. If you liked what you saw, I sure appreciate your likes, your comments, your follows. Check out my page right here. I have a Facebook page as well. I'd love to have you over there and check out the videos where I do more videos located in my home territory, And that's in the northern plains up there in the Dakotas near Fargo. So, well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, love to have you watch a couple more videos and check